Welcome back, you guys. As a hairstylist or salon professional, have you ever run into a tough situation in the salon and wished you had a quick reference guide on how to handle it? That's where I come in. Hi, my name's Mary, and I'm a communication and business educator for hairstylists. Today, let's talk about hair trends and what happens when a client tries one and has a change of heart. Okay, so I know you know that trendy cuts and colors are always changing, but what gets me giggling are the names that some of these fads get. Shall we take a look at a few of the ghosts of hair fads past? All right, let's start with Raspberry Sunday. This was a nightmare color for me when I first started, and I still feel a shiver run down my spine whenever I see this photo. What about the ombre blonde or rose gold trends? What about the more recent haircut trends, the wolf cut followed by its longer layered cousin, the butterfly cut? Now here we are, and as a side note, I write and film these episodes about 3 to 4 weeks in advance. I wrote this on August 31st, and the latest huge trend seemingly came out of nowhere and blew up overnight. Unless you've been under a rock, you may know that I'm talking about Cowboy Copper. This lovely, not too copper, not too neutral shade went from 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds flat, you guys. However, what stood out to me was that I noticed that a lot of the clients wanting this service are blondes. Now, I don't know about you, but I've darkened my fair share of blonde clients over the years. And while most absolutely loved the change, some had a meltdown saying their level 7 lowlights were black. Now, I know everyone sees things differently, and I totally understand that, but sometimes it really can feel like you are taking a terrifying roll of the dice. Are they going to love it or are they going to hate it? But I have this question for you. What happens when you absolutely nail the color? I am talking it is perfection. It matches the inspo photo, and your client just isn't happy. Maybe their spouse said something less than flattering. Maybe they started to second guess their life choice. Maybe they just had a bad day. Maybe their color choice just didn't suit their personality, or maybe the change was just too shocking. To paint a clearer picture, I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, so let's say you had a client come in with the most beautiful, finely woven, icy blonde baby lights. Let's call her Barbie. When you go through your consult, you discover she is wanting to hop on that Cowboy Copper trend with everyone else. Okay, so you go about the service, you have a killer consult, you nail the color, perfectly matching her inspiration photo, and everything seems perfect. She checks out telling you how excited she is for this change, and all is well. Until 8 a.m. the next morning, when your phone starts pinging more than a pinball machine in an 80s themed arcade. Barbie is blowing up your phone. She isn't happy with Cowboy Copper. Her friend said that while she liked the copper, blonde was more her signature look, and now Barbie is panicking. She says she absolutely has to go back to blonde, and since she's unhappy with the service, this would be considered a fix, right? All right, so what would you do? How would you handle this matter? How would you discuss it with Barbie? And what safeguards could have been put into place to essentially squash all odds of this even happening? Stay tuned, and I'm going to dive deep into all of this today. But before we dive in any further, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself. Hi, my name's Mary, and I'm a former stylist turned communication and business educator, specifically for hairstylists. I want to show you how to tackle any hard situation you may face in the salon with good communication and critical thinking skills. Lastly, before we get started, if you find anything here useful or informative, do me a favor and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe. Okay, let's get started. So I painted a scenario where a blonde client took the leap and went Cowboy Copper. You as the stylist nailed the color, but she had a change of heart and is now expecting you to change it back for free. This is an issue because if you cave and agree to take her back to blonde for free, you're going to be out both the time it takes to tackle this now color correction and you're out the cost of supplies. This also sets a precedence that it's okay to think that you can just try on a color and if you don't like it, you can go back for free. I swear, sometimes I think clients are convinced that hair color is like nail polish. One coat and you get the desired color. A lot of them don't know the headache it is to transition back to blonde because as much as they want to think that they're pros and know the ins and the outs of everything that goes on in the salon, they simply aren't. And in fact, it's usually the opposite. And they're generally totally clueless about the entire process. So, how do you explain to a client that their change of heart on a color service is a new service and not a fix? What alternatives can you offer? What steps can you take right now to significantly lower the odds of this situation even happening? First, you're going to want to try to address the matter in a timely manner. I recommend prioritizing these messages and getting back to them promptly. As always, you'll want to do the following when constructing a reply. Start on a positive note. Address the issue head on. Inform them of their options, which will ultimately put the ball back in their court. Invite them to open up communication and finish with a positive. I would say something like this. Good morning, Barbie. I hope this message finds you well. First and foremost, I appreciate your trust in me as your stylist and for giving me the opportunity to work on achieving your desired hair color. I see you've expressed dissatisfaction with your new Cowboy copper color, and I want you to know that your satisfaction is of the utmost importance to me. However, I'd like to clarify my salon's service and pricing policies to ensure transparency and mutual understanding. Our initial agreement was to achieve the Cowboy copper color, which you were quoted at X amount of dollars. And I'm pleased that we met this goal. I completely understand that big changes can sometimes be a shock, and I totally understand wanting to return back to blonde. However, because we achieved the agreed upon look with the copper color, returning to blonde would be considered a new and separate service. Transitioning back to blonde will involve specific steps, product, and expertise to safely transition your hair back to its previous color. I do have an adjustment policy, however, that does cover making small tweaks to the finished look. I would love to invite you in and maybe discuss the possibility of a quick and easy toner to adjust the copper color. This would be totally complimentary. However, if you would like to move forward with scheduling a blonding service, the charge would be X amount of dollars. And my first opening is enter the date. If you would like to move forward with either of these options, just let me know and I'll get you back in. Again, I'd like to thank you for reaching out. Should you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Sincerely, Mary. Okay, so now that we've looked at a written response to Barbie, let's look at proactive steps you can implement right now to likely avoid this situation altogether in the future. The first thing you'll want to do, if you don't already have this done, is create and post your refund and adjustment policies. It could be something as simple as no refunds will be given for services rendered. However, your satisfaction is of the utmost importance to me. If you're ever dissatisfied with my work, I offer a 10-day adjustment period where I will offer any complimentary minor adjustments. In the case that anyone besides the original stylist makes changes to the hair, this policy will be null and void. Make sure you post this in your studio or salon and on any high traffic online presence you may have, such as your website, any social media accounts, online booking site, or Google My Business page. Another huge step you can take to minimize these occurrences is have a thorough consultation with your clients before a big transition. After my first blonde meltdown, I made sure that every single time a client came in for a big transformation, part of my consult was making sure that they were fully aware of what would happen if they changed their mind after the fact or if they didn't like the color they chose. I walked them through the costs of going back to blonde along with photos of what that would look like along the way. Spoiler alert! It usually involves some sort of blonge. This alone may make a client think twice about taking an impulsive leap, especially if they've never done anything like this before. Also, if you're a fan of covering yourself and your business in the most efficient way possible, go into Word or any other word processing program and create a simple color waiver form. On this form, you're going to want to add your client's full name, the date of the service, the starting level and tone of their hair, the desired level and tone that they want, your plan of action, the estimated costs of the service, your refund and adjustment policy, ideally with a line next to it so that they can actually initial next to those policies. A line for them to sign, a line for them to print their name, and a line for them to put the date of the service. It's really hard for a client to argue with a policy when it has their initials next to it and their signature underneath. Lastly, this one is big and a lot of the time it's overlooked. Take before and afters. It's really hard to say that you as the stylist are at fault for your client not liking their hair. If you have photos that visually prove that you fulfilled your end of the agreed upon service. I know some of you out there hesitate to take photos because your client doesn't want to be posted on your site or your social media. If you receive pushback on photos, all you have to do is assure them that the photos will not be published on your social media or shown to the public, and tell them that they are for your own record keeping and client profile. By simply having these safeguards in place, most clients will think twice before pulling this kind of act. But should they try to do so, you'll have all you need in place to cover yourself and your business. Also, if you have these in place and this client were to write a bad review, you have all the tools you need to say you fulfilled your agreed upon role in the service, gave alternate options, and tried to find a solution that would satisfy your client's needs and the needs of your business. And lastly, it would show that you will not be pushed around by demanding clients who feel your policies shouldn't or don't apply to them. In an instance like this, anyone reading the less than stellar review will instantly see that you as a business owner were professional. And most of all, this will likely lead them to viewing you in a more favorable light, seeing they can trust you to be open, honest, and transparent about your services and your policies. All right, you guys, I hope you learned something new this week. And as always, if you learned something, please hit that like button. And if you could also share this video with a salon owner or a friend in this situation, it would mean the world to me. If this was your first time here, I want to take a moment to say welcome. I'm going to be bringing you new educational videos every single Monday, detailing out tough real-life situations and discussing how you can use good communication and critical thinking to handle any tough situation that can possibly come your way with confidence and ease. I want to help you safeguard your business so that you can stress less and get back to what you love, bringing your talents to the world one head of hair at a time. If you have any other topics you'd like to hear covered, I would love to hear from you. Let me know down in the comments below, or you can contact me through my website, www.thestylistconsultant.com. And for those out there feeling stuck or slow to grow, I can definitely help. With a strong knowledge in branding, local marketing, and cultivating a memorable guest experience, I can work with you to see where we can easily strengthen your business to get you on the path to the career of your dreams. To find out more, head to my website, www.thestylistconsultant.com/coaching. You guys, you can do this. And in case you need me along the way, I'm here to help. Again, my name's Mary, and I run The Stylist Consultant. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you back here next Monday. Bye, guys.